Hey, what is up guys? This is Fatal Cubes here again with your second Java tutorial. In this video we will be going over some basic variable stuff, and to start off this video I'm going to show you the solution to the first challenge. So this is the code I wrote for the challenge. It's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of print statements to create what looks like an H. So you can start with a line, a few spaces, another line, do that again, and then in the middle put some minus signs so it looks like an H. Yeah, so that's how you do multiple printing. Anyway, in this tutorial, let's get on with the tutorial. So go into your default package, right click, hit new class, and we're going to name this YouTube thingy. So in this video I decided why not make a sort of more complicated program, and it's going to be about an imaginary YouTube channel we create. In this program we're going to be declaring some variables such as how many channel views we have, how many subscribers, the name of our channel. We're going to be messing around doing some variable operations, and then we're going to at the end print out some information. So, first thing we're going to start off by doing is writing the main statement. So this may look familiar if you watch my other tutorial, because this is a separate program, and so it has to have its own main function. So the first thing we're going to do is add in some variables, and we're going to make a comment here. So double slash, and then you can write your comment. I'm going to name it variables. Now, comments are very useful because they help make the code look more like English. Anytime you double slash and write something after the comments, this text is going to be ignored when the program is compiled. So all this text right here is going to be ignored, and even though it's red underlined, that doesn't mean anything. It's just saying it's not spelled correctly. The other way you could write a comment is if you do /* and hit enter. It'll create a multi-block comment, so you can have more complicated comments like this. Or you can, above a method, you can do /*, hit enter, type in some things, and then when you hover over the method, you'll see that the text is displayed here. Though I'll be going over more about Java docs in a future tutorial, so don't worry about that one. Just stick with the double slash. Alright, so the first variables we're going to want to make is we're going to want to declare some integer values. So integer total views, comma, subscribers, semicolon. So how this works is you say what type of data type you want to do. So we're going to be making integers. An integer is, like I explained in the last video, a number from -2,147,000,000 blah 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 to positive 2,147,000,000. Now if you wanted to use a number bigger than that, you'd have to use what's called a long, and you can create it the same way, but generally you don't need longs for most things. So now we're going to declare a Boolean is even amount. A Boolean is a true or false value, so we're going to be deciding if the total views is an even value. This will be true if it is, or false if it isn't, and you'll see how I do that in a bit. Char online. So char is short for character. A character holds one letter value, so like Y. So this online is going to either be equal to Y for yes, or N for no. And right now we're not going to set it to anything. We'll set it to something else later. Next, you're going to want to declare a string called channel name and set that to drink Java in quotes. So that's the name of this imaginary YouTube channel. It's going to be called Drink Java because Java is coffee and we want to drink it. So the last thing we're going to make is a double average subview. So this is going to, a double holds decimal places, so it's like an integer but it has a decimal place. It can be a decimal, and the average subview is basically going to be how many, for all the subscribers you have and all the views, you take the total views, divide by the subscribers to get your average subview. And you'll see that in a moment. So again, to declare variables, you have to say what type it is. Integers hold numbers that do not have decimal places. Booleans hold true or false values. Characters hold single letters. Strings hold a bunch of characters. And doubles hold decimal places. There's some other types. There's floats that's the exact same as a double, except it's not as precise. It goes about 16 places beyond the decimal point, whereas a double goes 32 places. So technically, you're using more memory by using a double, but memory is usually not an issue, so I usually stick to doubles. Long can hold the value over 2,147,000,000, whatever the limit on an integer is, and it can go to like 9 trillion or something higher than that. I'm not 100% sure. You guys can search that up if you're really interested. And I think that's basically it for variable types. There may be some other ones I'm missing, but these are the main ones that I use, and you guys will probably use too. So we're going to make another comment to ourselves because we kind of want to keep the code organized. Do some stuff. So after I declared all my variables up here, I created an enter and cleared some space for me to do some operations down here. It's important to know in code that white space does not matter. Technically, all this code could be on one line and it would run exactly the same. The reason we hit enters and use indentation is to make it more legible. So this method is indented from the class, and everything in the method is also indented. So technically, this is indented twice. In total, this is indented once. So we're going to do some stuff here, and we're going to set some variables. So this is how you can set variables. Say like total views equals and then whatever number you want. Or pick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what our total views are. Our subscribers are equal to 123. Why not? Our average subview equals total views divided by subscribers. Like I was saying, this is how you do division. You use the slash. As you may be aware, there's no divided key really on the keyboard, so you have to use the slash. We're gonna set is even amount equal to double parentheses. Now just follow along. Total views modulus 2. Go outside of those parentheses, double equal sign 0, semicolon at the end. So this is a bit confusing, so I'll break it down for you guys. This total views modulus 2. If you don't know what modulus is, it finds the remainder. So what it's going to do is it's going to take the total views, divide by 2, and get the remainder. Obviously, if this is an even number and you divide by 2, the remainder is going to be equal to 0, which will make this statement true. In other words, is even will be true. If this total views does not come out with a 0 as the remainder, it's going to be equal it's going to be equal to something different, like 1. So this is going to be false. So what it's basically what this even amount is it's saying make this a true value if this statement over here comes out to be true. So you'll see more of this in future tutorials. Just follow along, and that's one way of declaring booleans. And the last thing we're going to do is set online equal to y. Now, when you set characters equal to something, you have to use single quotes. You cannot use the double quotes for strings because characters only hold one value. Now that we've finished declaring some variables, we're going to make another comment, print out information. Because now we're going to print out some things so that we can see how our YouTube channel is doing. Because normally when you run a program, you're not going to be able to see all the code in the program. You're just going to see whatever the output is. And here's a cool shortcut. So if you remember, you can do system.out.println quotes, parentheses, and then put something in there. Well, a shortcut for that is if you type syso and hit control space, Control plus space, it'll fill it all in for you. This may work for a few other things, but this is the only one I know of. And it's really helpful because you're going to use a lot of prints when you do coding. Put the quotes in there, and we're going to say, well, our channel name, colon, space. So now you may be wondering, well, how do we get our channel name? How do we print out our channel name? Because, you know, it could change. In other words, if I were to change this to just Java, then how would it change down here? In other words, you can't type in here, drink Java, and then if the channel name changes, now it's printing out the wrong thing. So instead, we put a plus sign outside of the quotes, and then the name of our variable, channel name. What this is going to do is it's going to print out channel name plus whatever values at this variable called channel name. In other words, this is going to come out to channel name plus and then Java. But we're going to change this back to drink Java. So let's print out a few more things. So syso control space. We're going to say total views. We're going to print out our total views. We're going to do even amount of views is, and then we're going to do plus, and you can even do a Boolean in here. So if you haven't noticed, we've been adding integers now. So if you can do a string plus an integer, and it'll turn this integer into a string for you. So this total views, right now it's at an integer value of 23,456. But when you use the plus in the print statement, it'll come out to a string and it'll print out properly. You'll see that in a moment. And this Boolean, you may be wondering what it prints out. It's either going to be true or false, depending on this statement right here. We'll make another print statement for our subscribers, because somehow we need to know the stats of our YouTube channel. So that's why we're printing all these things out. Oh, whoops. And go outside the semicolon. So online, so we're going to check if we're online, and it's going to be Y or N. And we're going to do the character online. There we go. And last thing, there's going to be two more things we're going to print out. As you can see, we have a lot of print statements. And we're going to print out average number of views per subscriber plus the average subview. So this average subview should be equal to this number divided by 123, which if we run our calculator should come out to divided by 123 equals 190. Now let's make that a decimal, because we were expecting to get a decimal. So let's change the subscribers to 124, and let's check that out. This should not go in evenly, so clear that. Do 23456 divided by 124. Enter is 189. It is rounding for me, but whatever. We'll see what that is when we print it out. So 124 is in there, and let's go ahead and write one more print statement. So what this is it's going to show you that you can even evaluate things in the print statement. So let's say I wanted to know what my total views minus my total subscribers was, but I didn't want to do it out here. I wanted to do it right in the print statement. So you can do plus, and then in parentheses write total views minus subscribers. And there you go, and that's all you need to do. Now save it and run it. So let's go ahead and run this. Alright, so let's evaluate, see if everything was right. The channel name is Drink Java. The total views is 23456. The even amount of views is true, which is right because it ends in a 6. The subscribers is 124. We are online. The average number of views per subscriber is 189.0. and the total views minus the subscribers, 2332. Now, I know on the calculator it came out to an even integer, but 189 times 124 does not equal this number right here. Just to prove it, we go in here and do 124 times 189, and it comes out to 23436. So as you can tell, the calculator was rounding, and so is our program rounding actually. This should have a decimal place next to it, so why doesn't it? Well, we're going to learn more about this in a future tutorial, but it turns out when you divide two integer values, they can only return an integer value. So even though this is a double here and can handle decimal places, because these two can't, it's going to always come out to an integer. So instead, what you have to do is in parentheses, write double next to the total views, and in parentheses, write double next to subscribers. Another way to write this, yeah, actually that's fine. So we're going to say, you know what, we're going to turn this into a double essentially, and you'll learn more about casting in a future tutorial. But we're going to say, okay, this can now this can return a decimal value. So if we were to run it again by hitting F11, scrolling up, you can see there's now a really long decimal because that is the average views per subscriber. Okay, and I think that's going to be it for this tutorial. So you learned how to declare some variables. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you is when you declare variables, you can set them equal to something right in the declaration. So if I set subscribers equal to 4 and then later set it equal to 124, it's going to print out as 124. But I like to keep everything organized, have your variables up here, modify them and print them out. Pretty simple way, pretty simple program. But this just gives you a hang of how some of the variables work, and we'll see how they work in different tutorials a bit differently. So for this challenge, I'm going to cut away and see you guys there. Okay guys, I'm back, and for the challenge in this video, I couldn't really think of something too good, so I'm just going to have you guys declare two more variables, subscriber per day and subscriber per and view per day. So the total number of days, so you need to create, well, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but you're going to have a variable called days that's going to be equal to some number of how many days your channel has been up, and you have to create a way for it to print out what's the average number of subscribers you've gotten for each day and what's the average number of views you get a day. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.